Okay, you all know this, and I think you should stand up.
Anita Monica and I are the same dress, just different material.
Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. It's just like a magic penny, hold it tight and you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, and you have so many, they roll all over the floor. So love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. So let's go dancing at the break of day, and if there's a piper we can pay. So love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. You end up having more. Great.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Jane. And Sally. Thank you so much for taking care of the music today.
You're very welcome.
And we're going to start out with, we have a guest speaker today, Miss Annie. Our board member of the week is also our usher, that's Joe. Oh, and he's also our chaplain. He's multi-talented. And we have my honey's the chaplain also. So after the service, if you need some time for prayer, you can meet them up here in the front. Nora's going to be our youth champion today, and Ann is the hospitality host. Nobody's stepped up yet for the spick and span angel, but we always get someone that's great. Mark Swink is our technology director today. Mark. There's a lot of time in trying to coordinate that with me, who's trying to follow the schedule. And the minister angel, and I'm not certain what that means, is Susan Henderson. Does that mean you chase somebody down to talk to us every week? Oh, okay. And I'm Ron Savage. I'm your platform speaker today. So, let's do the heart song.
Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone sing, Lord, kumbaya. Someone sing, Lord, kumbaya. Someone sing, Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Someone's laughing, Lord, kumbaya. Someone's laughing, Lord, kumbaya. Someone's laughing, Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. You follow very well.
Only by your example.
Is there anyone today here for the first time? Besides Miss Ann? Well, since you are new today, let me give this to you. It's a heart. Let me tell you what it's about. If you're new today with Unity of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know, no matter where you are in your journey of faith, you are always welcomed here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you this heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each of us. And we ask you carry this symbol as a member of the Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The red heart as a symbol of fellowship in the world can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start that movement here. Okay. Oh,
It's angels.
that's the angels. I got it. Well, I have to put on my glasses for the next portion. I have to read. We have upcoming events. On June 11th, after the service today, we have a potato bar with all the fixings. And this is to raise a little money towards our technology fund. On June 16th at 6:30 p.m., we have movie night. We have Star Wars 5 in the sanctuary, and it is G-rated for those of you.
May the force be with you.
That's right. With the force be with you too, sir. June 18th, we'll have Katie Evans with the words of prayer are just a small part of the process. And then on June 25th, we have Karen Hamilton. She'll be teaching us about the Hero's Journey 101, turning oh my gods into homes. And then for your calendar, on August 20th, we have the Unity of Bremerton picnic in the, see if I can say this, Seroptimist Park.
Where's that?
Is that close?
Where it was
The
last year.
NAD.
It says NAD Seroptimist
Oh, I know what
Park.
NAD is, I know what it's called.
I guess that's the name of it. Okay.
They just added that.
Honkin' plane there.
Joe, you want to come up and tell us what the board's been up to?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just want to give you a reminder that membership renewal forms are still available in the fellowship area. We've extended the date for turning those into next Sunday, June 18th, which is Father's Day. Our annual congregational meeting will be in October, and only those whose memberships forms are turned in will be able to vote at the meeting. Also, technology envelopes are available for those who want to make a separate contribution to the, that'll go directly to the technology fund that will help us improve our technology and pushing up our, service to the web so others can see it. And let's see. Our goal is $6,000, and so far, as of June 1st, we've collected $413, so we still have a little ways to go on that. Also, inside today's bulletin, you'll find updated guest speaker, guest musician feedback form. Please fill out the form and place it in the bag in the fellowship area. We'll continue to provide these forms so you can let us know how you feel about future guest speakers and guest musicians. And please use this form to make suggestions too, if you think of somebody you would like to see, speaker or musician. Our first Friday movie night event was held on June 2nd. We raised $57, and that's a good start. So the Friday movie night will be every other Friday until the end of the year. And funds donated for the event will be used for the technology fund. So please join us for some pizza, popcorn, a movie, and fun. And Ron already mentioned the PG, let's see, rated movie. Let's see what it's going to be. It doesn't say what it's going to be, but while the adults watch Star Wars. So, and the next Friday movie night's June 16th. And Ron also mentioned the baked potato bar, and that fund, anything we raise there will also go to the technology fund. And this is interesting. The Seattle Peace Project that's enlisting volunteers to spend time each day meditating or praying for peace and harmony in Seattle from June 1st through September 2017. Those who want the camaraderie of a community meditation or prayer event are welcome to attend one, but there's no requirement to be there, I guess, physically. A person can also be part of this project from the privacy, you can be part of it from the privacy of your own home, for part of your daily commute, or in your favorite coffee shop. The experiment will rely entirely on volunteer effort, and you have to be in Seattle to participate. If we can prove that prayer and meditation can affect an entire city, it would have enormous implications in the future. The Seattle Peace Project could make people everywhere reprioritize their lives and start setting aside daily time for prayer and meditation, which is kind of what we're about. This could lead to a blossoming of further holistic experimentation, deeper understanding of our true potential, and a true cultural shift in the direction of wisdom and peace. And there's also a flyer about the event on the bulletin board. And the board will keep you updated weekly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Okay. Everyone knows that Unity is a firm believer in God, no matter what name you use. But right now I'll be lighting the Christ candle that symbolizes Christ's presence in each of us. We use that as our home. There is one presence
and one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotence.
Thank you. It is that short time when we shake hands and have hugs across the aisles. Are you ready?
Why not?
How are you doing? Better all the time.
All of that
I guess Party
Good morning.
Besides that, you're like darn good guy, just over that. Peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a mountain. I've got joy like a mountain. I've got joy like a mountain in my soul. I've got joy like a mountain. I've got joy like a mountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got tears like raindrops. I've got tears like raindrops. I've got tears like raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. And back to peace. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
My river changes direction.
Cheerleader one?
I believe in variety. And that's my interpretation of what I remember the older group of youth that finally grew up and went out into the world. Today's daily word, world peace. I envision all people building a world of peace on a foundation of love. From my limited human perspective, I may feel powerless as I consider the news of the world. The reality is this: I am a channel through which divine energies of peace and love flow freely. I use the words I am with care because they are my spiritual identity, the name of God nature in me. So I joyfully claim and express those energies by affirming, I am peace. Doing so, I contribute to the creative force that will bring a world of peace and love into expression. Today I make a conscious choice to experience peace, even at the slightest appearance of conflict. I know the choices I make today will manifest themselves to the world in wonderful, transformative ways. From Colossians 3, verse 15, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in the one body, and be thankful. Today, I envision all people building a world of peace on a foundation of love. God bless us.
Okay.
Shall we dance?
Teach you the ones you were
We shall cross that mighty river if we all go hand in hand. If we build our bridge together, on that other shore we'll stand. We shall cross that mighty river when we all get unified. Yes, we shall cross that mighty river by and by. We shall cross that mighty river if we all go hand in hand. If we build our bridge together, on that other shore we'll stand. We shall cross that mighty river when we all get unified. We shall cross that mighty river by and by. One more time. We shall cross that mighty river if we all go hand in hand. If we build our bridge together, on that other shore we'll stand. We shall cross that mighty river when we all get unified. Yes, we shall cross that mighty river by and by.
Okay,
Turn the radio on.
turn the radio on. There we go. This, I love the chorus of I love the whole song, but this really isn't a little church song. But I love the chorus, and the chorus is a church chorus. So, the song is Joy to the World by Three Dog Night. And all the words don't exactly fit church. Church is life. So, it's life. So if you know the words, sing along. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but it helped him to drink his wine. He always had some mighty fine wine, singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. If I were the king of the world, tell you what I do. Throw away the cars and the bars and the wars. It makes me love to you. Makes me love to you. Singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. You know I love the ladies. Love to have my fun. I'm a high left rider and a rainbow rider and a straight shooting son of a gun. Straight shooting son of a gun. Singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy to you and me, joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me, joy to you and me, joy to you and me.
I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Reverend Annie Lonardelli.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is wonderful to be here. You've already touched my heart so deeply. Very cool. Thank you all. Now, I know that you're accustomed to doing your meditation following the message, but I understand that you would be okay if we started. Oh, I know. Thank you for that. Let's all just take a deep breath. And relax and settle in. Breathe. And just allow yourself to quiet your mind as you settle into the sanctuary of your heart. And with each breath, let your body and mind relax even further. No effort at all. Just allow awareness to be aware. Thoughts appearing and disappearing. And all concerns loosening and released on each out-breath. The power and presence within you will help you release what no longer serves you. And the power and presence within you will strengthen whatever serves you best. Right now, we are open to divine guidance and ready to receive in silence as we let go and let God. I am free from all limiting beliefs regarding myself. All limiting beliefs released regarding myself and creation and God. I am open and receptive to the true knowing of the eternal self. I breathe into myself this true knowing that the love of God, the wisdom of God, is complete within me. I am within the wholeness of God. The wholeness of God is within me. And just take that in and breathe that in most deeply. For we are one in spirit, always have been, always will be. And so it is. Amen. Hello again.
Where are we?
You know, a few years ago, a friend of mine began questioning some of her long-held religious beliefs. Can you all hear me? And one day, in a state of frustration about this, she said, I just don't know what to believe anymore. And I couldn't help feeling excited about that either. I couldn't help feeling excited about the possibilities for her in that. What might emerge for her if she no longer knew what to believe. I could hardly contain myself. I think I might have said something like, wow, that's great. And what I meant by that is that in such times when our old beliefs are challenged, these can be breakthrough moments, can't they? Right? When something even more powerful and promising comes forth to move us even deeper and more authentically into a living experience of faith and grace. We all hold beliefs without even necessarily knowing what a belief is. And I would say that all a belief is a mental construct. It's a mental construct. It's based on what we've been taught, what we have learned, or what we have experienced. And hopefully, as we mature and grow, our beliefs change and grow with us. I mean, haven't we all had beliefs that we no longer hold, like when we were children and young adults, and as we grow and mature, our beliefs change with us. Beliefs are very useful, for the most part, especially when we think of them as stepping stones rather than set in stone. Right. We want to take care with our beliefs and to choose them carefully. And one of the best advice I ever received was from a college professor many years ago who said, you have to take responsibility for what you believe. Ooh. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? You have to take responsibility for what you believe and consider the implications of what you believe. That's what that means. To take responsibility for what you believe means that we have to consider the implications of what we believe. For example, if you believe that God leaves some people out of the circle of love, you have to be responsible for that belief. We have to be able to take responsibility for that belief rather than pointing to some kind of religious idea to back me up or to say something like, well, God said it, I believe it. That settles it. Right? And of course people do that all the time. But that's rather like blaming God for something that we wouldn't morally choose. So, what I'm saying is that we have to remain conscious, and always choose a better belief. And ask, what does my belief serve? Who does my belief serve? Is this a belief that creates more peace in the world, more love in the world, more healing in the world? Or does this belief foster a healthy environment for which our children can grow up strong? Future generations? Our experience of life is filtered through what we believe. And one of the beauties of our tradition, New Thought tradition and Unity tradition, is that we're free to continue to grow our beliefs to tweak them and change them as we see fit. Yes? Yes. So if you're confused about what you believe, or what others really believe, then I invite you to look at your actions, or the actions of others, because that's where belief becomes real. That is when what you truly believe is evoked from within you, comes forth from you, particularly when things get very difficult. When the pedal's down on the metal, you know what I mean, not just some words that we use or profess every Sunday like we do. That's when beliefs go through a process where they're pounded and pressed and cauterized and purified, and we find out what belief really means to us. Now, a story that illustrates this comes from the tradition of the New Testament. Now, friends, I've been in Unity long enough to know that in Unity there are bibliophiles and bibliophobes. And I don't know what side of that you're on, or maybe you're somewhat in the middle, but we can accommodate it all. It's another beauty of our tradition. Because we say, or at least I say, that I don't know if these stories are literally true, if they happened in just this exact same way, but there's a truth in the story. And that's what we're looking for, these stories as spiritual teachings from which we can learn and grow and apply or not. That's what it's all about for us. It's a beautiful thing. So, this is a story that shows us what Joshua, Jesus, believed, not through what he said or preached, but by what he did. So take a deep breath and settle in for some storytelling. So it begins in a little first century town called Capernaum. It's a pleasant little town, about 1,500 people at the north end of the Galilee Sea. Joshua spent a lot of time there. He had friends there. People were very familiar with his teachings. And on this particular day, by the time the morning light had broken and the animals were gathering and the people were gathering, Jesus appears. And for whatever reason, he wants to get out of town for the day. So he very deliberately walks through the village and out of it, headed for another village called Naim. First, 2 or 3 other people join in, follow along. But then as he keeps moving along that old dusty path that was worn by generations of plodding donkeys and goats and sheep wandering through the countryside, he's joined by others. Soon a whole procession of people are following. They pass farmers' fields and the farmers stop and they get out and say, well, what's going on here? Let's go see what this is all about. They drop their tools and they join in. And by the time mid-morning arrives, there's a group of followers, all very highly energized. They're singing and dancing. You know, we have this idea that in Jesus' day, people sat in little rows like this, quiet. No. It was much more like that hugging and kissing you were all doing this morning. People were singing and dancing. They didn't know that they were supposed to sit quietly as they joined together for their learnings and teachings. They were jostling for a place up front next to the master, and then they just slowly gravitate towards the end of the group, you know, in the back where they'd gossip and share stories. Slip to the rear, their children making up games, and the children darting in and out of the group along with the village dogs. They stop for lunch along the way. They get out their herbs and their wine Yes, wine. This morning. They're olives. And they wonder what on earth they're doing. Where are they going? Some are hopeful, some are expectant, some are skeptical, some are curious. They're all swept up in this life-affirming procession of hope. By the end of the day, they reach the little town of Naum. Small rural town in the foothills. Now this word, this name, Naum, means peaceful and beautiful and green pastures. The name is a stark contrast to what is really going on there, because there's the harsh reality is that this is a barren and impoverished place. And this, my friends, is a major clue that things are not what they seem here, and that we need to look beyond appearances. Now, at the same time that this procession from Capernaum is arriving, another procession is forming in the center of town. It's a funeral procession. And shrill lamentations and cries of grief echo out over the valley. And the mourners reach the gate of the village just about the same time as Joshua's procession reaches the center of town. And the two processions meet. Joy and sorrow mingle at the gate. Now, historians tell us there was no gate. There never was a gate here at this little town, but gateways represent this passageway of life, of transitions and shifts. The two groups stop. They face each other. The singing and the dancing ceases. All of life and death and the whole human experience meets right here in joy and in sorrow. A widow leads the mourners. And now her only son is dead, and his body is being carried on a funeral bier for burial to the caves outside the village. And Jesus sees the grieving mother, and immediately he understands what this means to her. You see, widows were especially vulnerable in that culture, as they are in many places in the world today. She's facing a life of poverty, even slavery, without a male relative to support her and to help her. But Jesus, in that moment, recognizes the social concerns of his time because he was an advocate. He was an activist. He recognized the poor and the oppressed. And he doesn't stop to preach. He doesn't stop to give a sermon. Instead, he moves swiftly, and to the woman he offers words of comfort, and then he does a most radical thing. He reaches out and touches the dead. This defies all rabbinical law. You do not touch the unclean, the dead. But Jesus went for it. He touched the young man, and immediately the young man got up and began to speak. Now that's the story of Jesus as the great exception. The great exception with extraordinary supernatural powers. It's an inspiring story. It's inspiring in its wonderful powers of healing, and yet it's also a frustrating story for me. Because, you see, history is heaped high with grieving mothers, with impoverished widows, for whom no such miracle occurs. And we miss the mark. If we take stories like this too literally and hear it to just be about physical healing, of course we all want to see physical healing, but when we're so fixated on that outcome, we miss the other lessons of healing that are happening, the other powerful lessons of healing. How does a story like this reach us now in the face of loss? Because such a miracle worker like this may not arrive to heal our loved ones. We know that healing happens. We've seen it. We've experienced it. We've celebrated. And we've also seen that sometimes it doesn't happen in the way we want it, no matter what we believe, no matter what we choose to believe or what we want to believe. And yet healing happens in so many other ways. When our hearts are opened, spontaneous compassion pours out from us. We show up like you do here today. You show up. You take action. You wake up. You are waking up. And we encourage each other, and we lift them up out of their deadened state. And all this stems from a belief in spirit, in God by whatever name, in wholeness itself. These are the beliefs that Jeshua demonstrated in the story as the great example, not the great exception. He shows us how to live. He shows us to believe beyond appearances. A town that is impoverished and grieving is called beautiful and peaceful, and there's life in a young man that appeared to be dead, and we reach outside our own race consciousness to take care of others outside our tribe. You know, compassion will not raise the dead. But the way we show up and love each other, that is the miracle. That is the miracle. The way we show up and love each other despite our losses. You know the story all about healing, physical, emotional, spiritual healing has always been a core belief in unity. We've heard the story of Myrtle's healing, right? From TB, everybody knows that story. Put everything in motion for the unity movement, and healing services are a major part of this teaching and result in many healings and miracles. And Charles Fillmore, maybe you know this as well, he came to believe that ill health is totally unnecessary, that old age is unnecessary, that death itself is unnecessary. This is what Charles Fillmore believed. And it might sound a little bit over the top for us right now, but it was a popular notion, not an uncommon notion at all during those times. That was a strain of thought that was moving around. And today most unity teachers don't make the same kind of claims. We believe that healing happens, but we make no claims about how or when or where or even what it is. Right? Now, perhaps some of you know this story, but I'm betting that a lot of you don't. And I hope that we start sharing this story more readily in our unity churches. You see, Charles and Myrtle had 3 sons. Their youngest son was named Royal. You know the story? Not sure, yeah. He was an optimistic, upbeat young man, very involved in the unity movement. He went all over the country promoting it and teaching it to people. In his early 30s, he married Frances. And they were so in love. And the Fillmores, they were overjoyed because they had a daughter finally in the family. And then within a couple of years, they had a beautiful granddaughter. Well, a couple weeks after the baby was born, Frances died. And the family was in deep shock and mourning. Royal was devastated. And we can only imagine what went on in the hearts and the minds of these people, these premier healers of the world. What went on in them about their faith and their beliefs. Their joy, you see, and their sorrow had met at the gate of life and death. And soon after, Royal began to decline. He never recovered. He died at age 34. Tragedy, loss. And what did Myrtle believe? As every day she missed them, and every day her grief was as strong as it gets, just like all the rest of us who grieve. And in her letters that she wrote, she said, I don't know, but I do know that they don't seem gone from me, really. That the veil is so thin that I can pretty much touch them. She believed in the resilience of life and that their work, that Royal and Frances's work, was still continuing in some mysterious, eternal way. It's easy to believe in the drama of a physical healing. But the Fillmores made their belief in a reality beyond the material real. In their belief that the work and bliss of spirit is ongoing. And that belief is even more compelling, at least for me. Breathe. Breathe with me, please. See, I know something about this business of healing and belief. I've had my own beliefs challenged. Just over 4 years ago, my husband, Rich Henry, made his transition. He was 63 years old. Bright, deeply spiritual, deeply respected and loved in our Unity community. And through our deep faith and Unity teachings in the course of our journey together, we came to see wholeness in a much deeper way than just physical, just material. We stopped seeing illness as failure and death as a mistake. Rich's courage and his strength and his peace, and especially his faith, inspired all of us. His life and journey through his transition evoked his belief, and his belief transformed his experience. And I came to know, not just believe, but to know with every fiber of my being what wholeness really is. Such a much deeper way, beyond illness and death, beyond what we so narrowly term as life. Life. And some years ago, before this all happened, Rich and I lost a dear friend. And the night she died, Rich had a dream. And the dream, he was told this. She's arrived. She's arrived at her destination safely. She's transformed from love into pure love. She is transformed from love into pure love. And it was a dream that comforted us greatly. It was a gift. And in Rich's last days and last breaths, I repeated those words over and over again to him. You are transforming from love into pure love. And this is my belief. It's a belief that we share together, that we're always evolving as he has, always transforming and growing. And the more of it that you do here in this beautiful community, the more that we do consciously, the easier it is to surrender to it completely when our time comes and we stand at that gate. The more growing we do from love into pure love. A few days after he passed, I felt his presence most clearly, that veil being so thin, as Myrtle said. I felt his presence clearly nearby, and these words seemed to be coming from him. Yes, it is such pure love. Unimaginable love. Pure, unimaginable love, the generator of the universe, of everything. We see that kind of love in the great example of Jesus. It is what he believed. What did Jeshua believed? Well, he believed that we're called to move out of the familiar into where the need is. To look beyond appearances to wholeness itself. To move into compassionate action. Jesus believed in showing up and getting your hands dirty. Believed in service, resilience, renewal, hope. To speak with authority to what appears to defeat us and deaden us, to those old beliefs that no longer serve us, and to rise up. To rise up. Dear friends, these were the beliefs of the great example, Jeshua. May we share in these beliefs together and rise up and do this good work. Namaste.
Get the musician going here.
Crank him up.
I will have to watch him every minute.
Even now.
So you speak to me of sadness and the coming of the winter, the fear that is within you now that seems to never end, and the dreams that have escaped you, and the hope that you've forgotten. And you tell me that you need me now.
You want to be my friend, and you wonder where we're going. Where's the rhyme and where's the reason? And it's you cannot accept. It is here we must begin to seek the wisdom of the children and the graceful way of flowers in the wind. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day, like the music of the mountains and the colors of the rainbow. They're a promise of the future and a blessing for today. Though the cities start to crumble and the towers fall around us, the sun is slowly fading and it's colder than the sea. It is written, from the desert to the mountains they shall lead us by the hand and by the heart, and they will comfort you and me in their innocence and trusting. They will teach us to be free. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day, and the song that I am singing is a prayer to non-believers. Come and stand beside us, we can find a better way. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day, like the music of the mountains and the colors of the rainbow. For the song that I am singing, come and stand beside us, we can find a better way.
Thank you again for singing. As you are preparing your tithes and love offerings today, think about how blessed you are. And as you're writing your check or giving your gift, send out your blessings to all. For those of you who want, may come up and light a candle.
So
We could have our multitasker up here. We need the board member of the week, the usher, and chaplain. Together.
Together we dedicate these gifts in service to the highest mission, recognizing and celebrating our oneness with God. We joyfully and freely participate in the law of circulation, of giving and receiving, knowing God is source, the source of all good. We are grateful.
Thank you. And this section of it is the good news, and I'll start the good news by saying that I bought my partner out in the business, and so now we're going to be fruitful. Fruitfuler. Is there anybody else who'd like to spread some good news?
So what did you do? What do you do?
I repair paint sprayers for commercial painters.
Okay.
And this triples the area that I do that in, so it'll be very, very good for me, for us. No one else has good news this week? Okay.
Yes. Oh, Lois.
Lois. I didn't see you, sorry.
I think the good news this week was that we had a great women's retreat.
Yes.
And everyone enjoyed it, and it went off very well.
Good for you.
Thank you.
My good news is that we had a great speaker this morning. That's so good.
Miss Annie did wonderful.
Yeah.
Cindy?
Thank you.
Okay, for those who are participating in our Day of Caring, which is on June 23rd, that's a Friday. We will meet next week. We've got board meeting this week, so I don't have time to do that today. But just wanted to show you all, we do need to order shirts. So for those who have signed up, this is a large. They come big. They'll probably be a different color this year. They try to do something different each year.
Yeah.
But, and the good news is that New Beginnings did find a new location. So yay, that was a very, very big concern. So they do have a new location, and we'll be packing up backpacks for foster kids.
Cool.
So it's not too late to sign up if you can participate. That is a Friday. The event starts at 7:30 in the morning at the President's Hall at the Pavilion, but you get breakfast and lunch and a t-shirt and fun. So let me know if you're interested.
It was fun last year. We had a good time.
Good morning. This is wonderful to be with you again. Some of you I've known for a very long time. We have history together. But I love your energy and the way you're pulling it all in together and moving on. Many times I go to Suquamish, but I could feel good energy, really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any last good news?
The sunshine's coming out.
Hey.
Got it quick, it disappears.
And the children's blessing? Where's our children? We want children. We want children.
Yeah. All right.
You are walking in the light,
in the light, in the light. You are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
Well, we talked about
several things today, like drawing, what was that big word we used? It had something to do with triangles.
Isosceles.
Oh no, something hedron.
Smaller.
Something simpler.
Yes. But we also talked about the basic unity principle number 2. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. And looking at the book really reinforces that there are no coincidences. Because in the lesson plan, one of the examples that it gives is the Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back, which we're showing next Friday night. And just things that, and some of the other things, things that we addressed in the women's retreat yesterday. And so, I mean, all things that are going on at this time just happen to be. And so we drew pictures of ourselves and how good we are, because it is all about us. And as Jamie's drawing that, he says, boy, I'm starting to look really good.
Rock.
The blessing.
We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are.
Everybody would stand and hold hands across the aisle. There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
There be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Like God so